So for today's bake, I jumped over to the chocolate section, not the cake section, and decided to make the double trouble chocolate cake. It's even on the front of the cookbook. And this cake is really, really wonderful, especially the frosting. I'll get to the cake batter in just a minute, but this recipe calls for golden sugar as well as brown sugar, so I had to get some of that. I didn't have that in my pantry. So I'm going to start by just melting some chocolate and butter to put in the cake base and a little coffee. And so I'm just going to whip up all the wet ingredients you'll see there. The cake batter I found to be thicker than a lot of normal cake batters, and also mine turned out a little more dry than I had expected it to be. So, and goes the sugars there. So I'm not sure. Seems like I have that a lot when I make British cakes. So I don't know if they just make them differently than we do here in the South. Or maybe, again, my temperatures could be off. I'm putting in the dry ingredients there, as you can see, the cocoa and the flour. But I always reduce my cooking time a little bit and, of course, check the cakes as they're going along. So I'm not really sure what happened there. But I have prepared 3 cake tins, sprayed a little cooking spray and some parchment sheets in the bottom there, poured in the cake batter. It's kind of hard to tell, but it is a thicker texture than cake batters that I have made in the past. So they have come out of the oven. They're nice and done. I'm going to let them cool while I make the frostings. And this particular cake has 2 different types of frosting, a Swiss meringue buttercream and a regular buttercream. And this is what makes this cake so yummy. And if you can't tell, there's a lot of butter in this cake recipe. So I am peeling off the parchment. The cake batters are cooling. I'm melting some more chocolate for frosting. I'm gonna whip that up. And so the whole point of this cake is to make 2 different colors of chocolate frosting. The Swiss meringue is a little lighter than the regular buttercream to give that 2-toned effect, which you'll see in just a second when I start icing the cake. So again, we're pouring in some more chocolate, and now I'm gonna make the Swiss meringue buttercream, which is a little different because of course you have to heat up some egg whites and sugar to a certain temperature, and then you're gonna whip that up to stiff peaks and then add in the chocolate to that. But I gotta tell you guys that this frosting is to die for. It is so amazing. So I've melted my sugar. I'm gonna pour it in the mixer now and get that whipped up to a nice consistency. And, all in all, like I said, I would make this cake again. I might play around with the cooking time, maybe even add some different ingredients in the cake batter to make it a little bit more rich and moist than just so dry that I found it to be. So I'm almost done with the frosting. I'm going to fold in the chocolate into the Swiss meringue buttercream, and you will see lovely frosting. So I've got 2 piping bags because of course I need to have them separate, just a plain nozzle on the ends of the piping bags. And you can see there they are. There's the Swiss meringue and there's the regular buttercream. So the regular buttercream is slightly darker. I don't think they turned as different as I want them to be, but here you can see when you frost, you're just going to make circles in the layers, alternating the 2 different frostings. Of course, I'm trying to do this with one hand, holding a phone and ice at the same time. But you can see that spiral effect there that you're going to have on each cake layer. And then you're going to frost the entire cake with the remaining frosting. And so it was the Swiss meringue that I did that with. And then you're going to pipe little kisses on the top of the alternating frostings. Mine, some of them look good, some of them look a little wonky, but again, it's all in the taste. And you don't have to worry about making this one perfect. So that was good for me. So there is my double trouble chocolate cake.